Okay, now I'm going to show you how I use an actual speed square to set up a set of wings, and how I get the wings set up over the plans themselves, and I get everything aligned, and I use the speed square to get everything where I want it to be with the wings and the wing box when I attach everything together. Okay, let's start, and let me show you how I use these. I use the speed squares to mark off exactly where on the plans, let's say the trailing edge of the wing will be, right there, and that is where it meets the wing fairing of the wing box. This is where the wing fairing of the wing box ends. That's where it's marked on the fuselage. You see? So all of these speed squares take points on the plans and transfer it straight to the plane. You line up the speed square exactly with the plane and the mark on the plan, like right here, let's say that point right there. You see that point? Let's say I want to mark up that point exactly with the speed square, and what I do is I go like this. I move it in, and that point is transfixed right to the plane itself, and the key is you got to make sure that the speed square is straight. Always straight and level, and then you take a pen and you mark the point onto the fuselage. And right here I have the laser level giving me a baseline down the top of the 737 MAX 7's fuselage. So I have points marked off. See, I take this big speed square and I use this big speed square to mark off where the beginning of the stabilizer is, and I transfer that right to the fuse. And as you can see, I've already done that. There's the mark where the stabilizer begins for the MAX 7, and there's where it ends, right there. Right there. And how do I get that point? Right from the plan itself. The plans are laid, and I go ahead and I take this large speed square, right? And I place it right down on the point of the plan, just like that, and it comes up and brings me a point right on the fuselage. Okay, so the first thing I do is I got my plans down on my table right here. I got my 737 MAX 7 wing box center belly section right here. I place that down pretty much where I know it's going to go on the plans. And then I've got my right and left 737 MAX wings with their carbon fiber rods attached. And before I do anything, I go ahead and I make sure that the actual wings themselves will fit into the grooves that I've cut. And I get everything nice and situated beforehand. And I pop that into place. Before everything's got to happen, I do all that first. There we are. Make sure everything is straight, and then I place it over the plans themselves. Place it over the plans, and what has to happen next is I've got to get everything straightened out. Got to get everything straight, and I have to get everything set up before I start putting in the speed squares. I have to get everything kind of where I know it needs to be first. So I get the plans, I get the wing box down, and I have to weigh the wing box. And I weigh the wing box down with old batteries. And I weigh it down so it doesn't move. Turn some light on here. All right. So. Batteries are weighing down the wing box. That's crucial. Now I start to break out more speed squares. These are the dihedral spacers for the outer. They'll be placed under the wings, and these are the inner spacers that fit underneath here to make sure that the wings are properly aligned with everything else. Well, it's crucial that I get all this set up properly. Now, what I start to do is I start to take these speed squares. Let me get you guys closer and so you see what I'm looking at. What has to happen is the speed square sits on the line. It straddles the line. The wing box has to be moved until it touches that speed square. And the same thing has to happen on the other side. On the other side, we have another speed square, and that straddles the line of the plan for the right side. And the two pretty much have to meet up. And when they meet up, I know that I have everything pretty much centered, or as centered as I can get it. And that's how you use speed squares. Now this is very important. You got to see it's really hot and I'm sweating my balls off, so I don't want to get the plans wet, so I got to be very careful of that. So what I do is I'm making sure that the wing is lining up with the plans. Now right now they're not. I got to make sure that they do. I've got other speed squares. So I move these speed squares into position, like so, along the line of the plan to the leading edge of the wing, and that gets everything lined up. I put the dihedral spacer right in there, like so, just like that. Do the same thing over here. And then not dihedral spacer. Here's my dihedral. Right. Now, I start to come in and make sure that the wings line up with the plans. You see this? Here's the line for the leading edge of the wing on the plans, and I use the speed square to make sure that the wings match what the plans are doing, so that I get the right proper angle of attack. It's crucial, very important. You have to do that. I can't stress that anymore. Absolutely crucial. Look at that. Perfect. So what I'll do is, see, now I've got all the speed squares sitting on the leading edge of the plan line for the 737 MAX 7. And I'll come in and I'll eyeball everything and measure everything to make sure that the dihedral is perfect. And that's what I do. And then I come in and I epoxy. I add my preliminary epoxy in the joints, in the carbon fiber and everything, to make sure that everything is straight. And that's how I do it. That's how you use the speed squares. That's what they do. They get everything aligned and then everything straight, so that when you're putting everything together, it matches your plans perfectly. And that's what you do. Well, you see, that's how you use speed squares. to align your wings of your RC Airliner or Warbird or glider or whatever you're building to your actual plans and get the proper angle of attack, dihedral, and get everything situated. Use speed square, and that makes it happen. Okay? Thank you for watching. As always, I'm honored. It's Demondriver here. Take care until next time. Bye-bye.